Hello, I'm Jim Demo with Clark County Close-Up. Thank you for meeting with us and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, why don't you start? Let's start. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a native Washingtonian. I was born in Seattle. I grew up in Kennewick for the most part, and then we moved to Spokane when I was in high school, so I spent the last 2 years of high school in Spokane. I went to the University of Idaho on a volleyball scholarship, and I graduated from there with a degree in microbiology.
Oh.
So I have been all my work life and career has been in science, and most of it's been in sales and sales management, so I'm leading teams of salespeople, and so I'm really excited about this project down at the waterfront right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet, imagine.
Yeah, and then I was 8 years on the Richfield School Board. 6 of those years I was the board president, and my last year there was 2013.
With the Ridgefield, how many positions were on the board?
5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are you finding some similarities?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think that's one of the advantages or experiences that I bring to the county council is that I'm really comfortable in that environment, and I've led in that environment. So I think it's something that I'll be able to help as we work through the charter and the implementation of the charter.
Okay. So why did you decide to run for this position?
You know, I was finished with my school board term. I kind of got out of politics for a while. Not kind of, I did. I just kind of decided to ride my bike and spend time vacationing. But my son was off to college, and I thought, I'd really like to get really more involved in the community here in Clark County, and this opportunity kind of came up at the same time, and I thought, it'd be a really nice way to use the experience that I had on the school board and get more involved in this community, and so that's really why I decided to do it.
So how would you describe your leadership style?
I'd say collaborative. I mean, in the last 17 plus years, I've been a sales manager and a leader, and I like to, it's really about empowering others, working with and through them to get results, and you have to give them accountability, but autonomy and responsibility, and allowing them to do that, I think, I've found to be a pretty successful way to work with others and to manage people.
Okay. We're recording this in early February, so how have you been transitioning to your new role?
I've been reading a lot. With 13, I think, boards and commissions that I sit on, trying to get caught up on all the things that have been happening. Of course, I've been to a lot of the meetings over the last year. I started attending meetings last spring, but still not having the inside of all of that. So really just trying to get up to speed on the major issues that the county's dealing with, and there are a lot of them. Yeah.
I imagine. And how about reaching out to the public? How have you been doing that?
Mostly they're reaching out to me. Okay. But I've been to a couple neighborhood association meetings, which I'll continue to do. But I'm available, email, phone, what have you. And I'm going to start to look at city council meetings and port meetings and just try to continue to stay out in the community. And then anytime I'm invited to a neighborhood meeting or any sort of association meeting, I'm happy to go. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your top priorities for these next few months?
Well, the major one is our comprehensive growth management plan, and that's probably the number one priority going forward. That, and we're just now starting to get into the budget and talking about the 2017-2018 biennial budget, and that's going to be, we just had a work session on that yesterday, so that's going to be a short-term and sort of longer-term 2016 project.
Mm-hmm. So, and then what about for the remainder of the year? What do you think are your personal goals for the council? And what are you trying to work towards the next year? Well,
I'm looking forward really to talk about the budget a little bit, working with our budget office and finance team in championing the priorities and program-based budgeting that we're going to be going to at the county level. And that's an opportunity to really get some visibility into the programs that we're involved with so that we can start to prioritize those programs and really talk about how we fund them. And I think when we talk about respect for taxpayer dollars, that's going to be an opportunity to really communicate to our community what we're doing and why we're doing it. And collectively, if we're doing some things that maybe nobody wants us to do, then maybe we shouldn't do them. So that's one of my personal goals. It's one of the things I talked about in the campaign, and I'm looking forward to being an integral part of that change and that process for budgeting.
Okay. As we talked about in the open, the passage of the charter in 2014 brought about many changes in county government. One of the biggest, moving from 3 to 5 council members. What are your thoughts regarding the implementation of the charter to date, and where do you have to go?
Well, I think we're getting there. Certainly, with 5 on the board, I think it's less likely that we're going to get involved in, the day-to-day operations per se, unless it's with regard to a constituent issue. But we're not. So I think it's already happening. The implementation is happening. The next thing is hiring a county manager, and then through that process.
Do you know what around time frame that's?
No, I'm not sure what we're going to do there at this point. I know there's some discussion about what that process might look like.
Okay.
But once that takes place, I've been having conversations about then having the council set direction for the county manager. And I think the county manager should also say, look, here are my goals for 2016, and then we collectively together try to build an outlook for 2016 and beyond, frankly, so that we can make sure we're on the same page, we're on the same track, and he's clear about what our expectations are, and we're clear about what his goals are, or hers.
Okay. As you discussed, the county's in the process of updating its comprehensive growth management plan. So how do you believe the process should proceed from this point forward?
Well, we're in the process. Yeah. So February 16th is the next hearing on the growth management plan, and there'll be a number of things discussed there. One will be Alternative 4B and the Thorpe report, and where do we go forward from there, given the information we have from the Thorpe report.
And just for our viewers, what could you tell us a little bit about the Thorpe report?
Sure. So Alternative 4B is the most recent and adopted preferred alternative by the council, and that plan was developed using a new set of planning assumptions. Okay. And a third party, R.W. Thorpe, was hired to vet those planning assumptions to make sure that they were GMA compliant and something that we could depend on. And the report came back, and 4 were invalid, 2 were partially valid, and 2 were valid. So now we're in a position where we have a preferred alternative that's been adopted and a third party report that says the planning assumptions that you used for that preferred alternative are not all valid. So that puts us in a position where we have to make some decisions about how we go forward.
Okay, all right. And it's also, I'm assuming you could open up for potential lawsuits or issues with that.
Sure. I mean, it's part of the record, and that's a concern. Yeah, I mean, the Thorpe report is part of the official record, and so that's definitely a concern going forward, yeah.
Okay. And so, as we mentioned, recording this early in February, what are your initial thoughts regarding county government?
We're involved in a lot. More so than I think I really ever thought about. But moreover, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of the department directors, a lot of the folks that are doing the work. I've spent some time with code enforcement out in the field. I spent some time with animal control folks out in the field, and I'm impressed with the people that we have in this organization, the leaders in this organization, and we can all continue to strive to get better, but what I've been impressed with is that that's what they're doing. They're looking for ways to get better and to deliver our services better to our community, and so I'm optimistic about the direction, about where we're headed as a county and as an organization. Yeah. Great.
How do you enjoy spending your free time?
Not right now, but I do like to play golf.
Oh, okay.
So winter times are tough because most of the things I like to do are outside, but if it's wintertime, I like to cook. I like to wine taste, but summer times I'm usually on my bike or playing a little bit of golf.
Any more volleyball?
No, my joints, knees, and shoulders I'm too old.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the viewers?
Just that this is it's an honor. It's a wonderful opportunity to be involved in this community. I'm optimistic. I'm really looking forward to the direction that we're headed, and we'll get there. Yeah.
Okay. So now, if best ways for citizens to contact you?
Yeah, my email address, and I feel so bad for this. There's another Julie Olson at the county.
Oh, okay.
So typically the email addresses are firstname.lastname@clark.wa.gov. So she's getting all of my email right now.
Oh, no.
So my email address is julie.olson2, the number 2, at clark.wa.gov. And so she spends half her day forwarding emails to me. I feel terrible for her.
And they could also call the counselor's
Absolutely.
office,
Yep.
397-2232.
Yep.
And I know on the county's website, clark.wa.gov,
Yep.
you go to boards and you can go to the counselor page, and there's a direct email link there.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for meeting with us, and I'm sure we'll be talking more often.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.